Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, hi, I'm Mercury. Welcome to my channel. It's my daily vlog, so whatever I'm up to is what you're gonna see here. And today, I needed to make a bread-like product. And I put the air quotes because it's not gonna be bread, because I can't have grains or gluten. So it becomes a bread-like product. So today, I realized I haven't had a muffin in a long time. And I looked in my fridge and in my pantry and I was like, I got the stuff for apple muffins. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna go make some grain-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, totally delicious, hopefully, apple muffins. So we're gonna do a recipe review. So this recipe comes from the roasted root, and I will put a link to the recipe in the description of this video, but let's give it a try and see how these apple muffins turn out. Here is our ingredient lineup. So I do have baking soda and apple cider vinegar. Technically, the recipe calls for baking powder. However, most baking powder I found to be made with cornstarch or potato starch, which I can't have. But if you take the amount it calls for in baking powder, so like half a teaspoon of baking powder, you can do half a teaspoon of an acid like an apple cider vinegar or a lemon juice, and then half of that, so then a quarter of a teaspoon of baking soda, and it essentially does the same thing as baking powder. Then I have some cinnamon, I have an apple, 2 bananas, we got eggs, this is almond flour, and some salt. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna mash up these bananas, we're gonna grate up this apple, and then start mixing things together. To grate the apple, I'm gonna do it in a food processor, and I'm gonna use this blade, this grating dish. This is the attachment I'm using in the food processor to do this. So now I have the bananas all mashed up. I ran the apples through the food processor so they're grated. And now I'm gonna combine the bananas, the apples, and the eggs, and I'm gonna mix that all up. So you can see this is all well combined now. So it's the apples, the bananas, and the eggs just mixed up. Now in this bowl, I'm gonna mix up the dry ingredients. First up is the almond flour. Next up is the salt. Next up is the cinnamon. The next thing it calls for is a teaspoon of baking powder. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take a half a teaspoon of baking soda, and that's going to go in here. And I'm going to take a full teaspoon of the apple cider vinegar. I'm going to slide this away and slide this here. And the teaspoon is going to go in there. I'll just mix that around real quick. And I slide that out, and I slide this back. And I have my little whisk, and I'm just gonna use that to mix this around. You could totally do this with a fork. I just happen to have a little whisk and I enjoy using it, so that's what I'm doing. And you just wanna make sure that it gets blended about so that cinnamon is worked all the way through. Now that I have my dry ingredients all mixed together, I am going to blend them into my wet ingredients a little by little. So I put about that much into the bowl, and we're going to mix that in. And this is more just because I find it easier to mix in little batches than to dump it all in, because when you dump it all in at once, Like, I feel like I'm fighting with it. Like, it's just like I make a big mess and it's going all over the place. If I do it a little at a time, I feel like it stays in the bowl. It's does what it needs to do. It absorbs better. So little by little works for me. So now that that's all mixed up, I have my muffin tin. Now, anytime I use a muffin tin, what I like to do, I have these silicone muffin holders, like cupcake holders. They're dishwasher safe, they're non-stick, these are fantastic, and I just use this, and I take them and I put them in each cup of my muffin tray. And I just keep filling this up with all these colorful little silicone muffin holders. And I do that because it's, one, super easy to get them out of the muffin tin. Two, easy cleanup. Like I said, these are dishwasher safe. And yeah, it just makes it so much easier. So, got these all filled. And now the recipe says to fill up the muffin tin 3/4 of the way in each cup. So that's what I'm gonna do. So now my muffin tin is all filled and into the oven it goes. The oven is preheated at 350 and it's going in there for about a half an hour. So the muffins are out of the oven. Got one right here. So like I said, so easy because I just lift this right out of the muffin tin. No muss, no fuss. And then these, no stick. So just go pop and it comes right out. So super easy with the silicone muffin tins. I definitely recommend them. So, moment of truth. Let's give her a taste. It's pretty good. I would want it to be a little bit sweeter. If I were to make these again, I'd put a little zhuzh honey in it, and they'd be perfect. I think that's the only thing it's missing is that little tiny bit of honey, that little kick of sweet. It has some sweetness from all the banana and the apple that's in there, but I think that little extra bit would push it over it. But it's got a good texture, so let me see if I could show you all the little, there we go. So standard muffin texture. So even though this is grain-free, it still has a very, very nice texture for a muffin. Like I said, the banana and the apple help to give it some sweetness. That definitely brings moisture to it. And this is just delicious. Another thing I might consider doing in the future is putting little apple cubes on top, so that, and then bake them on top, so they get that like little extra caramelized apple-y kick to it. But recipe as is, it's not bad, but I could definitely think of some ways to kick it up one more step. But overall, I'm gonna enjoy this. So with that, I bid you adieu, and I will see you all tomorrow. And until then, stay inspired by everyone. Take care.